Hello. Hello. Welcome to the stream. My name is Source Supreme. This is Final Fantasy XIV, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be doing some more Omega raid tiers, starting with the Sigmascape version 1.0, and hopefully finishing all of the tiers so we can unlock all of the Savage Raid exclusives. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be hype. Very much looking forward to it. If we have time after completing all of the raids and unlocking everything, I'm gonna be leveling up some Paladin. But today I'm going to be ending stream a little bit earlier because I'm actually going to meet with the static that's been running these Savage Raids minimum eye level. So because I'm meeting with them for the first time, I don't really want to meet them while streaming. So I'm just going to end stream before that. So yeah, today's looking like a good day. Quite busy, but we can get a roll on, and it's going to be good. If you enjoy the content, if you like to see more, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you're watching on the VOD channel. And if you're watching here on Twitch, go ahead and give me a follow. You can stay notified of when I go live. Follow the links down to the Twitter down below at sorcerer_supreme_. There I post every time I'm about to go live, so if you ever miss a notification via Twitch, you can see it there for sure. Alright, without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into Sigmascape version 1.0. Might take a little bit to get in there, but yeah. I'll show you my progress on Paladin after doing my roulettes last night. As you can see, they're all pretty much done except for raids, which I don't have access to. But hopefully these become available, actually, now that I think about it. They might not be available for today's stream. They might only become available later today because I did them late last night. That's fine. I'll get them done. Currently sitting at level 59 Paladin. It's great. Exciting. It's been a lot of fun. I've noticed how much the game kind of changes when you get into the 50s and the 60s, like into Heavensward, in terms of tanking, because of your defensive cooldowns and getting a lot of packs. I noticed that it's like you have to use way more of your cooldowns. Like, you need to use 2 defensive cooldowns versus everything before you never really needed to do that. But now in Heavensward, it's like, oh no, you need to do that or else you're gonna die. And also you need to watch your hollowed ground, you need to watch your invincibility, because if not, you're gonna die. I think that's interesting. It definitely makes tanking a bit more fun and a lot more engaging in the newer stuff that I have access to. Which I guess makes sense, because I realized the trial that I did yesterday, right, for this, it was the naval hard. So it was just Titan hard. I decided, you know, I'll put on my tank stance first. I haven't really been doing that because I don't really know the fights, but I was like, I don't really know this fight, but I mean, how hard can it be? I did not realize that the tank did nothing in that fight. Like, I was over there as a DPS in that fight the first time I was going through it. It was a fun AoE dodging fight at that level, right? But for the tank, I literally just stood there and defense cooldown cycled. And that was the best I could do, because I wasn't about to turn around the boss and have him be facing the rock that he jails a person. So, like, that was the optimal thing for me to do, was to literally just sit there. And I was like, oh, this is, like, kind of boring. But you do a later trial, and you're like, oh, okay, I could see how people enjoy tanks. I understand how people enjoy tanks, which is actually pretty good, because that's how it's going to be also in these raids and stuff. It does make me want to level up Dark Knight even more, but I know that Dark Knight is in a particularly rough spot right now, patch-wise. Not because it's bad, but because it has really good damage, but it has really bad defensive. Like, its defensive is not on par with the other tanks in the current high-end content, from what I've been hearing. Obviously, I'm not there yet, and even more honestly, I'd probably only want to play it for, like, Shadowbringers. There's just a lot of classes I want to play in Shadowbringers specifically, which is kind of annoying. I think I'm probably just going to end up sticking with Reaper and Dragoon, just because those are the ones that I like to go through stories with, I realized. And it helps that they share armor. But melee DPSs, a lot of them are a lot of fun. Specifically Dragoon and Reaper, right? I know I'm always probably going to love those too. Samurai seems like it's very fun with the recent changes. I was talking about that. I'd love to level a Black Mage, love to level a Red Mage, just to have those in my pocket. Tanks, honestly, I'll probably level all of them, just because I kind of do like tanking. It's pretty fun. Plus, I think for raids, I might end up just getting used to tanking, so I might not end up going into them as a DPS. And then healers are definitely my most sidelined thing. I remember leveling up White Mage to 30, and I didn't have a bad time. But I was also at low levels, where I was doing a lot less. Which has me a little concerned, because if the amount of stuff that I was doing as a tank increased in Heaven's Word era content, I can imagine for healers it's much the same. So it would probably just be very stressful for me. I don't like the idea of having to heal everybody all the time while also trying to do damage. That's a lot to keep track of. I feel like defensive cooldowns are easier because they're weaves. Heals are full casts. That's a lot. That's way more intentional. Like, way more intentional. You could say the same about magic, like Black Mage, right? To me, Black Mage is a little bit more, you just kind of have to get good. Like, I'm not at that point with Black Mage. My whole reason for not even like prioritizing it level-wise is because it's just kind of, it's not good for story mode. I don't think it's good for story content, because most interactions and content that you're going to be doing in story mode, you're going to be alone. So nothing is going to take aggro from you, and you're going to take aggro from literally everything. Which means you're just going to die, because you can't deal with packs. So it's not great for that. But in situations where you should ideally never be targeted, I think it's a lot of fun, because it allows for those minute optimizations with slide casting, with just getting all your damage, positioning yourself properly at the beginning of a fight to do the most damage with moving as little as possible, right? It's cool. It's a unique style of play. It's basically a turret style, except in a game where you're expected to dodge and interact with mechanics. And that's cool. That provides a lot of challenges, but it's challenges to how you are doing damage, and not really a challenges to how you are keeping people alive, which is why I don't like the healers. All that to say, I don't think I'm gonna like healers that much. I don't know. I'll try it later. Like, when I finish the story and I'm just leveling up jobs to 100, obviously I'll be using those. But, yeah. Let's just hop right into this first one then. Full Party. Sigmascape version 1.0. Ooh, I like the music. We on a train? Ah, we are on a train. Oh, we've located the correct data. Your opponent appears to be a train? Here it comes. Music's so good. Ooh, we've got 2 sages. I don't think we're going to be struggling for healing. Well, they could have barrier interactions that aren't great. How does that work? Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, it's just showing you to hit them with the light. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Oh, nice. They got it. Well, this is interesting. This seems like it wouldn't be very difficult for a tank. Seems like we're kind of just standing there. Oh, we made it to about 50%. Oh! That was an accident. Okay, now I gotta fight a one-on-one battle. Well, it's a good thing I'm a Reaper then. That's like my whole thing. Where'd it go? What? What happened? Okay. Oh, okay. I have to get taken. Interesting. Interesting. Again, thank goodness I'm a Reaper. This is like my whole thing. Hey, he's back. Diabolical whistle. That's cool. Oh, it's dead. It's super dead. This is a funny fight. That's a fun fight. It's funny. But you kind of do just wail on the train until it dies. The ghost mechanic is kind of just there. Okay. Thank you for letting me have all of the Sigmascape things. Huh? Traveler from afar, thank you for Doma. Huh? What? Ghost train. I think I may be missing a reference. Thank the gods you're fast on your feet. When I first saw you'd be facing a train of all things, I assumed I was hallucinating. But, with that oddness behind us, we can be fully certain we have the right set of data for the Sigmascape. From what we've been able to determine, this is a recreation of a devastated world. Unfortunately, we have not found any clues as to its origin. We came across several familiar terms, Doma included, but the arc of history is inconsistent with our own. Given that Omega draws from the realms which could be fictional or even other dimensional, we can only guess at the source upon which the Sigmascape is based. But if it was fictional, it seems safe to assume the author had a bad experience with a train. Unfinished masterpiece. Quair! I expect you're still recovering from your last fight, but we should probably go over the details of your next opponent all the same. According to our research, you'll be pitted against a foe known as Chardanuk. Not a train this time, but a manner of animated painting. To be perfectly clear, the name refers more to an evil spirit that's taken up residence within the picture, but the picture part will be the key to our strategy. To that end, Nero's thrown together a little something I thought might be useful. Just notices we're all staring at him when he walks over. Thrown together, he says. Do you know how difficult it was to translate your abstract fancy into an actual tool with practical applications? What you demanded was nothing less than a miracle, and a miracle I have delivered. I seem to recall you insisting on constructing it yourself. Still, credit where credit's due. Well done. History will appreciate my genius. Ahem. To you, I present the fruits of my labor, the Chocobo brush. I won't confuse you by trying to explain how it works, but suffice it to say that I have adapted the tool to combat the particular nature of your rival. Simply put, you'll be able to directly influence the space around you by painting pictures. Naturally, this process will require paint. As for the color, subject, and efficacy of your masterpiece, well, that shall depend entirely upon your own artistic sense. Now, back to you, Garland. Do you notice the absence of a steaming cup in my hand? If you truly valued the efforts of your colleagues, you might consider filling the bloody kettle from time to time. Or is that another task his lordship the chief can't accomplish without the help of his subordinates? Now listen here, Nero. I apologize for the damn kettle. This has nothing to do with my upbringing. What? I'm gonna argue about tea. The tea's not on. How could the tea not be on? Next to the kettle is one of Alpha's cards, its face illustrated with a depiction of spring water. Que? Que? Alpha appears keen to begin the next encounter. May enter SigmaScape version 2.0 whenever you're ready. And ready I am. So let's get into it. SigmaScape 2.0. Alright. Yeah, other tanks I like. I think Dark Knight is cool. I think Dark Knight's DPS is fun. It's just a little sad you don't really get... Like, I don't know how Dark Knight is supposed to live in Heavensward. I know it's technically through Abyssal Drain and Carbon Spit, right? Is it Abyssal? Yeah, it's literally just Abyssal Drain. You use Abyssal Drain to stay alive. That's pretty much it. And that's just rough. Like, that's really rough. Because that's only on a minute cooldown. And I mean, it's good for packs and stuff, but that's not... It's barely a defensive cooldown. It's just not that much of a defensive cooldown. It's not. Plus, it shares a cooldown with Carbon Spit, so on a single encounter, you're not going to use it. It's just not good. It's not great. You can't think of it as a defensive cooldown, but you have to. At least in big pools and stuff. But, I mean, you can see it here throughout the entirety of... what am I saying? Heavensward. Throughout the entirety of Heavensward, you do not get a single defensive cooldown. And that's crazy. Especially when I was, saying what I was saying before, where you need your defensive cooldowns all the time in Heavensward. Hey, you can see it here. How many defensive cooldowns are even on Dark Knight here? If we account Abyssal Drain, it's Rampart, Shadow Wall, Blackest TBN, Reprisal, Dark Mind, and Dark Missionary. That's it. That's not good. Also, where's Shadow Strider? There? It should be there. It just doesn't... It doesn't check out. Things are wrong. Something is messed up. They just don't have defensive, and they don't have a way to keep themselves alive beyond that. Ah, the SigmaScape version 2.0. Ah, what a splendid Altair. Look around you, hero. Plenty of things in which to dip that brush. Oh, the haunted painting! Quay! Interesting. So now we have a duty action. Black paint. Waterfall. Some toad, a rock, and a airplane? Is that an airplane? I have claimed the girl in the picture. She is mine. You can't have her. How long I've possessed such a masterpiece, no one will get away with it. Ow. Hey, it doesn't have a front or back. That's cool. Possession? Okay. I'm not really sure what happened, but... Demonic Shear. That doesn't sound good. Oh, it's a tank buster. Release. Possession again, this time of this one. Oh, little plane. Oh, I see. Okay, you have to like manually get off. That's not great. Ow. Oh, it's still there. Okay, that's my bad. It's the tank buster thing. Okay, I'm kind of getting used to it. Whoa. Oh, he got it. And the painting's gone. Oh, seems like he's dealing with them. What is that? Oh. Interesting, you have to do two at the same time there. Oh, I forgot to do the thing. Okay, I think it's gonna die now. There we go. Sweet. Fun fight. The painting mechanic is... actually, it's kind of okay. It was okay. Having to do multiple at the same time made it a little more interesting, but one at a time, I mean, it's pretty obvious that you need to use the painting in order to, like, solve the puzzle, so... Ooh. An orchestrion roll is cool. I'll take an orchestrion roll. Now I got something to listen to in my room. Alright. Welcome back, Cole. I was on the edge of my stool watching you attempt to paint whilst fighting, but you soon seemed to get the hang of it. I'm glad our makeshift solution worked as intended. Our makeshift solution worked as intended because I made it work. Painting is easy, as I intended. I feel I should remind you, however, that the brush was very specifically designed with that arena and that foe in mind. Against all else, it would avail you precisely as well as any other brush. One moment. Hi, this is Garland. That's great news. And what... Oh, they did? Did they? Understood. We'll meet them out there. That was Jesse. Apparently, Biggs and Wedge have considered themselves well enough to pay us a visit. They're on their way to the yawn. Fancy a brief jaunt to the surface? No thank you. I have data to analyze. Fine. Just the three of us, then. Biggs, Wedge... Outfit changes for Biggs and Wedge? They're in, like, medical gowns. Chief, Cole, and Alpha too. We didn't mean to drag you all the way from your work. Nonsense. After all you've been through, how could we not come running? Speaking of which, should you even be walking? The Charujan will probably want to have words with us later, but we couldn't just lie back and let you brave the rift on your own. Do you have enough hands for that much work? Who's taking care of all the little jobs? Ah, yes, the little jobs. It does seem that you two have spoiled me. I only recently learned that the kettle does not, in fact, fill itself. But we're muddling along, somehow. Gaul has been a pillar of strength as always. Alpha has proven to be a stalwart companion, and Nero has been invaluable and insufferable in equal measure. As for the test subjects themselves, they're certainly formidable, but Omega's experiments hasn't broken us yet. So go home, heal, and don't come back until you're fully recovered. It's good to hear that everything's going well, but you can call us the moment anything goes wrong. We'll be out here in a wink, even if we have to crawl. Listen to me, Alpha. That uniform you're wearing makes you an official employee of Garland Ironworks. That means you can call on us whenever you're in trouble, and that we can call on you. It means you're not alone. Biggs and I have to go for a while, so I want you to look after for Carl and the chief for us, alright? Quack! Oh, before I forget, we brought you something that should put a spring in your step. Can't find Omega creations on field rations alone. Oh. Strength. Strength. Ugh. Excuse me. Bob. Nero, we left Nero alone. Why did we do this? Now, what have we... This next one seems strong, but exhibits no other notable traits. How dull. The true challenge is this fourth opponent. But if I can find the patterns hidden in the chaos, then knowledge and reason will prevail. For even the most random actions are products of an underlying logic. One has but to isolate the behavioral triggers. Tastes like salt water. Why would... I need to take a closer look at that card. Hey, Omega, what are you looking at? Don't use Nero as an example. Alpha group shows sign of recovering from recent trauma, initiating action to maintain desirable stress level. Oh, great. Huh? Won't let you pass. Alpha and the Chief have already gone back in, so don't let us keep you. Our colleague over there should be glad to help you make the descent as soon as you're ready. This dreadful experiment may have a way to go yet, but if you keep taking it one battle at a time, you'll be fighting Omega before you... it will be all over before you know it. Let me in. Let me in. What happened, Nero? What'd he do to you? Ah, back, are you? We should return to the task at hand. Everything all right, Nero? Look a bit green around the gills. The kettle was full of salt water. Not the best stuff to brew coffee with, turns out. Really? Well, it wasn't my doing. Of course not. That would involve you filling it. The water came from Alpha, created by one of those cards of his. It was very thoughtful of him to make the effort, but next time, I'd prefer a beverage that didn't leave me feeling ill. In any case, you can handle support for this third battle on your own. I want to begin preparations for the fourth. Fair enough. Right, Call. Your next foe is known simply as the Guardian. Unlike that ordeal with Chardanuk, this battle promises to be relatively straightforward. Courage and steel should be enough to win you the day. Oh boy. That is almost worrying. Because it's like, well, what is it going to do on top of all of the strength? Que? Que? Alpha seems concerned about Nero, but otherwise eager to proceed. You may enter Sigmascape version 3.0 whenever you're ready. Whenever you... Ah! Okay, before I actually go into this, I need to use the bathroom. And it might take a little bit, so I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Hello, hello, welcome back. Tune back in, we're getting started. Stigmascape version 3.0. Simply known as the Guardian. Actually, I want to read that. Known simply as the Guardian, this foe is described by Sid as the machine responsible for defending a capital city. As a creation of otherworldly engineering, it is impossible to know exactly what weapons it will bring to bear. Only that this will be a contest of force versus overwhelming brute force. Okay. Fun! And then I know the last boss of the Stigmascape. I don't know what it does. I have not seen that. I haven't actually seen this boss. I haven't seen this boss, and I haven't seen the next boss, but I know what the next boss is. But that doesn't really help me. So, yeah. Let's see, what was I looking at before? I was looking at Dark Knight. Right? Dark Knight at level 70 finally gets TBN. TBN is your quote-unquote 25-second cooldown ability. I say quote-unquote because you don't really... you don't do that. You just don't. You don't do it. That makes more sense. Honestly, that makes more sense. And where's the... Do we have another 90-second? Do we have a 90-second? This is a 90-second. But it's only for magic damage. See, that's what I don't get. Dark Knight has 2 defensive cooldowns that are specifically for magic. What about physical? Like, physical is what you're encountering the most of. I'm not saying magic damage isn't going to do a lot of damage, but, like, where's physical damage? And then this is only 10%. It's 10% that lasts for 10 seconds. 10% isn't a lot. Yeah, sure, there's 2 charges, but it's still only 10%. If you use both charges at the same time, you're getting 19%. That's not good. That's okay. And that's using 2 charges. 1 charge, which is what you're going to be using most of the time, that's only 10 seconds of 10%. 10%. It's weak. And it's sad because Dark Knight's really cool. It's got a lot of really cool attacking abilities. But that is where it ends. It ends with your attacking abilities. Because everything else just doesn't do that much damage. Or you don't do that much damage reduction. Which is the tough part of Dark Knight. That's why it's cool. That's why it does a lot of damage. It trades damage reduction for damage. But that's tough. Especially when you have Gunbreaker, who can do both. Gunbreaker does a lot of damage. And also has pretty dang good defensives. With Camouflage, 50% parry rate, with a 10% for 20 seconds. On a 30 seconds more. Then, like, come on, this is just so much better. It includes that reducing damage by 10%. Instead of being for 10 seconds, it's for 20 seconds. And on top of that, it adds a 50% parry rate. And the only trade-off, 30 more seconds and no other charge. 30 more seconds of cooldown and no second charge. I think that's so worth it. Nebula's the consistent 30 that everybody has. Heart of Stone is great. It's just 15%, 7 seconds, 25-second recast time. Bonus effect if you have the Brutal Shell shield. And then it becomes technically a completely different thing later, which has the effect of reducing damage further for the first 4 seconds and restoring your HP after that point. Great. That's awesome. That's fantastic. You have Aurora, which is a really good defensive cooldown. What am I missing here? Where's... Ah, there's arm's length. Why don't we do this? Ah, now look at that. That makes more sense. And then we can put Shirk there. Ah, I like it. Oh, we have intervene there. I did have intervene there. But we don't have the equivalent of intervene. I mean, we don't have the equivalent of cover for these other ones. So it makes a little bit more sense to do that for these other ones. A Gunbreaker technically doesn't have a lot of defensives, but it's still really good. Is it Heart of Light that gets the bonus? No, it's Enhanced Bloodfest that gets the bonus. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. I don't know. These other tanks just seem stronger on a general level. Like, Gunbreaker's got Aurora, which is great. Technically, that makes me want to do this. Because this is our magic damage reduction that everybody gets, right? Everybody has a Dark Missionary. Except for Warrior, which doesn't get that, but instead I'd probably use this one, because Nascent Flash is the same as... Oh, actually, no. Nascent Flash is the same as Raw Intuition, but for other people. But Raw Intuition becomes the equivalent of Nascent Flash on yourself, right? Which is why they share a recast timer. Because you could use Raw Intuition, or what does it become? Bloodwetting. You can use Bloodwetting on yourself, or you can use Nascent Flash on another person or yourself. Well, technically use it for yourself and another person. But it's not your raid-wide damage reduction, which is Shake It Off. Creates a barrier around self and all nearby party members, absorbs damage totaling 15% of maximum HP. Dispels Thrill of Battle, Vengeance, and Raw Intuition for an extra 2% for each effect. Lasts 30 seconds, gradually restores HP of everybody for 100 seconds. That's huge. For 100 cure potency for 15 seconds. That's awesome. Shake It Off is fantastic. Yeah, I moved it that way because cover... I guess I could do this. I could do that. So that all of our rush movements are on the same button for everybody here. Shirk being above that kind of makes sense. Which is why I also like that there. But then I wouldn't have a place for cover because Paladin, surprisingly, is the one with the most defensive cooldowns. Just has the most. You get Bulwark, you get Sentinel, Intervention, Sheltron, and Cover. And Dark Veil. Like, it covers all of the bases and then has the ability to do pretty much all of the other defensive cooldowns on other people if you so desire. Which is huge. Sheltron and Cover cover the same basis, except Cover is for other people, Sheltron's for yourself. Sheltron eventually upgrades into Holy Sheltron, which is even better for yourself. Sentinel gets upgraded to Guardian at some point. Bulwark gets no upgrade, but it's... you just block everything. Like, that's great. Intervention's a better Sheltron up until Holy Sheltron, but Intervention still will have use because you can put it on other party members. And it does more if you have Rampart or Sentinel active, so technically it'll always have a place as a general oath gauge spender, and then eventually Holy Sheltron just ends up becoming a panic Sheltron button, like a panic defensive button. Like, the defensive stuff of Paladin, honestly, is super cool. It's very good. It's very unique. And the oath gauge doesn't build up that slowly. I'm sure with the ability to be spending more oath gauge, right? Like as time goes on, you're going to be wanting to spend more of these, right? You're going to be spending interventions and Sheltrons and covers way more often in higher content. So that might make the auto attack like delay mean a lot more. You're also going to be having a lot of holy spirits or holy circles being cast, and you can't auto attack in between spells, so that means you're not really going to be getting that. But you get Confidier in the Confidier combo, which heals you a ton, so you don't need damage reduction because you're going to be unkillable anyways. That's a defensive cooldown as an attack done right, because it's a combo and all of them heal you at that point, right? And it's not like Paladin doesn't get a lot of attacking options either. Like Atonements. The Atonement combo. You get Goring Blade. You have Spirits Within and Circle of Scorn. The Confidier combo. Holy Spirits do a ton of damage and they get boosted by Requiescat. Requiescat. I don't know why I want to say Requiescat. Requiescat? Requiescat. I don't know, man. I don't know how you pronounce this. I'll look it up. Passage of Arms is interesting. Kind of makes me want to do this, but I feel like cover should be on a better button. 8 is just kind of awkward for me to press. I kind of lose where 8 is a lot more than I lose where like 5 is. 5 to me is really easy. The first 6 buttons are really easy because of my mouse. I have a MMO mouse, so I have a full numpad on my mouse that I use with my thumb, numbers 1 through 12. So it technically will cover 0, minus, and equals. That's kind of what it's just set to normally. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. It's a little early for me. Ugh. But yes, as I was saying, 1 through 6 are really easy because it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, and 6 are right beneath 1, 2, and 3 in such order. So where my thumb normally rests is normally over these buttons, so I don't have a problem. 7 I find a lot easier because it's kind of just where my thumb would go if I went straight down from holding my thumb over like 1. Like if I actually moved my thumb instead of just kind of sliding my thumb to 4, if I moved it, it goes to 7. I cannot say the same for like 2 to 8 or 3 to 9, but at least 3 to 9 is a lot easier because I can kind of roll my thumb down it, and then I'm at 9. 9 is not that bad. 0 is super easy. It's literally just all the way at the bottom. Same with sprint. Minus is okay. Minus is okay. But my hardest one to press, like, without, like, really thinking about it, is 8. All the other ones I can pretty much press without thinking about too much. I'll get it. But 8, I struggle with. I don't know why. Probably just because I've never really played an MMO, despite having an MMO mouse for most of my time having a computer. I just got an MMO mouse because my keyboard does not have a numpad. I have a short keyboard. So, to remedy that, I got a mouse with a keyboard on it. A mouse with a numpad on it. And that's how I always viewed my mouse. So because of that, I wasn't very used to using it. It was always good in other games, right? Because, like, for example, I played Destiny, right? The little bit of Destiny 2 that I played, I basically had every single skill on my mouse. All I did with my left hand on my keyboard was move, sprint, and jump. That's it. I did not press a single other button. Every other button for like all of my melee abilities, for my class abilities, they were all on my mouse pad. And I got used to it, but I never thought of them as their number. I always just thought of them as, that's my melee button. That's my class ability button. Yada, yada, yada. And that's how it was whenever I used it in any game. So now in this game, my first actual MMO, the Guardian will transition between a host of different combat programs. Try to keep track of what it does, of what does what. Yeah. Now that I'm using it in an actual MMO, it's made me realize how much I don't actually know the orientation of a numpad by just, like, feeling it. But I've gotten better. I've gotten a lot better. Magitech Ray. Arm and hammer. What's that do? Okay, that looks like a tank buster. Interesting. Uh-huh. So I see it's got a monitor over there that cycles through the stuff. Excuse me? Why they all... What is it doing? Okay, cool. Loaded a different thing. The dude that kicks. Look at me throwing out some kicks. Ow. Where is it? Come on. Okay. Oh, did I get it? I think I did. Holy cow. That was close. What is that? I'm running away. Okay, that's cool. Okay, I see what it did there. That was the thing of the Great Google Library. That was interesting. Oh, speaking of, hello, Bibliotaph. The pick guy again, not this one, man. This one sucks because he stuns you. Okay. Diffractive plasma. That's the, okay, interesting. He's fine. Arm and hammer. Oh, that's a tank buster, okay. Hey, nice. Alright, that's a fun fight. A lot of stuff going on, but it was fun. Oh, seems like I was just given a bunch of stuff. Which means everybody probably left. Yep, they did. Alright. Battle decisively. I already had that. Which means... No, actually, I don't know what that means to do with that. We'll see. Alright, Sid. Congratulations, old friend. Judging by the lack of smoking holes, I'd say you have a natural talent for avoiding laser beams. And this is what passes for a straightforward battle in here. Phantom trains, possessed pictures, and now this Magitech-like machine. Assuming it was real, this realm of the Sigmascape is based on must have been a highly advanced in both the arcane and the mechanical arts. It is truly a pity we cannot identify the test world's origin. Imagine how much we might learn from such a civilization had we encountered it under different circumstances. But now is not the time for such idle thoughts. The next battle will be the last for this world, and Nero should have a strategy to share with us by now. Oh boy, Nero. What happened to you? Test World of Ruin. Ooh. This is it. The final battle to conquer the Sigmascape. He's purple in the face. We put together a profile of your next opponent. You've encountered some fantastical foes in here, but this time you'll have a novel experience of fighting an actual person. His name is Kefka, and he's a jester. According to the data, his preferred mode of fooling didn't just bring the house down, but the whole world. Apparently, he found a comedy in the tragedies of others, and condemned countless thousands to death for his own amusement. That a gesture should bring such misery. 'Tis almost amusing. Nevertheless, we must treat this villain with all seriousness. His rise to godhood and subsequent rule over a shattered world is clearly documented in the records. Kefka is a formidable mage, and a cunning one besides. The Ataxis must account for both his power and his trickery. You've been working on a solution, yes? Will it be enough? Will it be enough? Have you ever known me to do anything but halves? By halves? The jester's face paint is a mask for his intent. If you only watch the surface, you'll be fighting at disadvantage. To put it bluntly, Kefka will seek to deceive you. Even as you predict his actions and adjust your positions, his true attack will reveal the feint for what it was. This is where things become interesting. I have tuned this monitor to allow me to observe the Sigmascape with greatly enhanced clarity. If I observe a discrepancy between Kefka's behavior and the impending attack, I will endeavor to warn you. The timing will be critical, of course. How confident are you of this strategy? I predict a 50% chance of success. Any delay, however slight in reacting to his feints, will render my warnings all but pointless. Isn't it exciting? There is no safe way to practice this, hero. We must test our tactics on the field of battle. Oh boy. I have to be reacting to things quickly? Oh no. I'm afraid he's right. I'll lend you all the support I can from this side. Make what preparations you need and head into the Sigmascape. We can't let this jester have the last laugh. Embrace your destruction. It is the fate of all things. But people can always rebuild, and new lives will always be born. A fragmented conversation that accompanied Kefka's data. His was the first line, but there was no mention of who uttered the reply. In life, there's always hope. How predictably forthright of you. I'm sure it was a hero much like yourself who gave the original response. Go on, champion. I tire of waiting for the fun to begin. What happened to him? Like, what did Omega do to this dude? He's all purple in the face. Quack! Alpha is clearly poised to spring into action. You may enter Sigmascape version 4.0 whenever you are ready. Alright. Sigmascape 4.0. Should I take the time to learn this fight? Nah. I have been added. Bum, 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 bum. I don't think we're going to be able to unlock the entirety of Alphascape, just because my cutoff time is 1 o'clock. I need to be done and ready to join that group by 1, so I don't think I'll be able to unlock it, not while also trying to eat lunch. So, unfortunately, I'll probably just get to unlock Alphascape version 1.0, but I won't be able to do Alphascape 1.0. Oh, someone else is here. Crazy. Looks like I might actually be joining my group as a melee DPS because they need a fill for today, and I don't have a tank ready. So instead of just watching, I'll be playing. I'm just checking my gear. Make sure it's all good enough. I could probably do with another... No, that would be a lot of skill speed that I don't really need. But this could be better. Sweet. All right. This is taking a little bit. Let's say about 8 minutes. The last time it said that, but it was a little bit longer. So we will see. Regress is at 74. Arcane Circles at 72. Gluttony is at 76. And 78 is where you get another charge of Soul Slice or Soul Scythe. That's huge. That's super cool. And then Enshroud, which you can do after you do a Gibbet, Gallows, or Guillotine 5 times. You need to do those 5 times. Thankfully, with Soul Slice having 2 charges and Gluttony, you basically get to 4 in your opener. So you just need to do a 1, 2, 3, 4. You need to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, Bloodstock, Gibbet, or Gallows, and then you can Enshroud. So it's not a part of your opener, but you can do it pretty quick if you use both Gluttony. Oh, actually, Gluttony requires 50. Never mind. You need to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 in order to do it. Almost 3 full cycles of your 1, 2, 3 combo will get you Gluttony, 2 Soul Slices, and a regular Gallows or Gibbet. And then you can Enshroud. Ah, I see. It gets easier when you have something like Plentiful Harvest, which puts you into Ideal Host, which is what Enshroud is. I think. Grants Ideal Host. Duration of 30 seconds. Cannot be executed while under the effect of Blood Zone Circle. I don't know what that means. Alright. Let's unlock and do Sigmascape version 4.0. And then we'll finish. We're going to unlock the Savage tier. We'll try to unlock Alphascape. And then I'll probably call it a really short stream. Very short stream. But I don't really want to record or stream my first interactions with a group of people. I'd like to get to know them without streaming first. Full party. Sigmascape version 4.0. Holy cow, it's him. I wield the greatest power in existence. You may as well be the dirt on the bottom of my boots, or the dirt stuck to the bottom of that dirt. I will destroy everything. I will create a monument to non-existence. Let's go. This arena has no edge. Oh boy. I don't remember this fight at all. Oh boy. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. This is so weird. Blizzard Blitz again? Ah. Okay. Okay. You know, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Hello? The heck is that? What's he doing? Power builds in the graven image. Oh gosh. I don't want to stand where that is. Oh! That was a knockback. Okay. I thought it was a get out of the way of it, not a knockback. Okay. Well, I'm learning it. I'm learning. The heck is that? Oh. How was I supposed to know that was gonna... come on. Oh, jeez. That was terrifying. Raven image again. Alright, what's he doing this time? I don't think I want to stand in that. Huh. Okay. This is not easy. I apologize, healers. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I avoided that. Ultima? Raven impact again. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Stay on the left side of him. Okay, I kind of get it. That's a spread out kind of deal. I almost died. Raven impact again. Just gonna command the statue to do a thing. It looks like it's gonna be a go over here situation. Yep, okay. I kinda got that. This is the thing. Hyperdrive, what is that? The statue is moving up again, okay. Now we're doing a different Graven impact. The eye. Okay, don't look at her. Cool. Glad I figured that out. Ultima upsurge again. Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. Ultima upsurge again. Oh, my Destined Death fell off. Raven impact. Now we gotta watch the statue. Huh? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I don't know what happened. Okay. Ow. Okay, he's gonna die now. Awesome. I am the Sigma. I am the Omega 1. There he goes. I lost? Can I lose? I just can't believe it! Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Thank you for keeping me alive. Also, ooh. It doesn't look like I'm gonna get the orchestrion roll or the... Oh, I got that. I don't know what I got. That's it, isn't it? He's won! Blip. This contest has been decided. Alpha Group is victorious. The Sigmascape test world will now be erased. Come on! We should go and find Call! Nero? Talk to me, man. Are you hurt? You could say that I had a visitor while you were attending your little ironworks reunion. Omega. Damn it. We should have never left you alone. Not after what happened to Biggs and Wedge. As if I would trail along behind you like some sniveling lapdog. No. I chose to remain. And behold the results. This was my victory. It was my ingenuity that defeated these foes. Even your precious warrior of light was just another variable in my grand experiments. All right, Nero. Save your strength. I'll fetch Call and Alpha, and then we can get out of here. Garland. The next round is yours. But you can't keep holding back. It's time to unfetter that brilliant mind of yours, to do what must be done. And I'm not just talking about what becomes of Omega. You cannot preach freedom through technology and keep yourself locked up in chains. Entering the Sigmascape. I am now a Sigma. Ah, Midgar Somer. Hello. Another battle won. Thy might knoweth no bounds, child of man. Blip. The Sigmascape has been terminated. Congratulations, Alpha Group. Congratulations, Call Hima. That's the first time it's called me my name. Consistent with previous performances, you have once more defeated a foe of vastly superior combat capabilities. I've constructed a theory to explain this phenomena. In order to conserve life energy, you subconsciously limit your output during standard activity. I'm a Dragon Ball Z character. I have taken this factor into account when calculating your potential, but judging by the wild fluctuation in values, it is possible your limits are exceeded by unpredictably high degree when engaged in battle. Bloop. Current data unreliable. Accuracy of further experiments may be compromised. Recalculations necessary. You will exhibit your full potential, unrestricted by self-imposed limits. Prediction. Placing subjects in mortal peril will facilitate the collection of desired data. Whoa. Hello? Hello? Oh, the eye. Reveal your power. Let me measure the extent of your existence. In precisely 180 seconds, I will terminate your life. You are to attempt to escape with every last reserve of strength you possess. The ribbit. Frog. Frog jump. Oh, Alpha. Alpha, your participation is unnecessary. Do not interfere. Alpha. Curious. 'Twould seem the circumstances of thy birth taint not the purity of thy life. The seed which all mortals nurture is found within thee too, Alpha. As for thee, Omega, after the passing of eons, is this truly the extent of thine evolution? I have glimpsed the core of thy wretched existence, and judge that my guidance here is no longer needed. Okay. Deuces. What about me? Hello? Oh. Oh. Oh, big Midgar Somer. Big. Even I cannot fully bend the rules which govern this place. I've reached beyond my strength at the last. But so beeth. Such a death becometh thee not. Midgar Somer. The goat. Oh, the music. To slumber shall I betake me for a time. The incarnation I leave with thee will be mine in form, but not in spirit. Wait, he's gone? Midgar Somer, your actions are incomprehensible. Heed me, empty vessel. Thine all too clumsy effort to draw out that which, by thy own admission, defieth thine understanding is the very height of folly. Temper thy desire, trust to the result of thine experiments, and when thou hast witnessed these mortals in the fullest of their glory, then mayest thou determine if the prize thou seekest is thine for the taking. No! We lost Midgar Somer. He's gonna go back to sleep. Oh. Acknowledged. Attempt to artificially elicit potential has failed. Tend to your injuries, Alpha Group, and prepare for the next round of testing. Oh, Alpha. Call! Alpha! I need your help! It's Nero! He's... It would seem we have a tale to share. But not here. Come on, we're leaving. Sir, the chief has already departed for Rauga's Reach. A few of our people were on hand to help him transport Nero. Oh, and I was told to tell you that Jesse expects a full report as soon as is convenient, and by that she generally means now. Let me check something. 30. Sorry, give me a moment. More than likely. Accept. Alright. Go to Rauga's Reach. Sorry about that. Communicating with the group. Someone is offering to help me go through the raid so I can unlock the savages. Oh, I was told you made it out of the hole, but nothing beats seeing you with my own two eyes. In case you're wondering, Nero was taken straight to the infirmary. The chief should be back soon with news if you don't mind waiting. Chief, how is he? Not good. It seems one of Omega's nastier minions paid him a visit in our absence. He's putting on a brave face, but having seen his injuries, I'm surprised he kept going for so long as he did. The chirurgeons confined him to a bed. Even should Omega extend its next invitation, Nero won't be coming with us. Midgar Somer is taking a lengthy nap now, is he? And it won't be long before our base camp is lost to the rift again. When the time comes, I'll join the expedition myself. The challenges will only get harder, and you'll need someone reliable at your back. I appreciate the offer, Jesse, and I may yet take you up on it, when the time comes. But let's not make any decision just yet. I have a lot of thinking to do, about what's happened, and about what lies ahead. Queh. Poor thing. Seems worried. Thank you for trying to save me. Queh. Well, that got a smile out of him. We may not understand what he says, but I think we can understand how he feels. Right. Much as I'd like to stay and chat, we have a lot of work to do. We all have work to do. Sooner or later, we're gonna have to face Omega itself, and we've all seen what it's capable of. We need to be stronger. We need to be ready for Omega, for when Omega calls on us again. Let us make sure that we are. Alright. Switch back to Reaper.
Blip. Initializing. Welcome. How may I assist you today?
Access the stab initiative. Phase 2.
Beep. Good evening, valued employee. Thank you always for your tireless efforts. As part of the Savage Initiative, we bring you Phase 2 of our Mending Melodies section, a composition designed to rejuvenate both body and spirit. The song brings to mind a gentle sea, the ebb and flow of the tide, a rhythmic balm upon the exhaustion of your soul. As with our first installment, we sought the cooperation of the same illustrious minstrel. For this piece, it seems he has drawn inspiration from his recent visits to the Far East. Now, close your eyes and float upon the calm ocean of music. Let your worries be carried away by the waves as they swell and recede, swell and recede. Clear your mind and allow for new vistas to unfold. Hear, feel, and ponder their mysteries.
Ah. Sigmascape Savage, now accessible. Alright. And with that, I'm going to take a break to eat lunch. When I get back, we're going to continue with Alphascape up until I have to go and join my raiding group. Alright, I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, I'm back. Hello. And I've come up with a new idea. Instead of continuing here, I think what I might do is look up the fight and watch it here on stream so you guys can see what it is I'm going to be doing off stream, because we have quite a bit of time, but I don't think these roulettes are ready. Well, they kind of are. They could, but these take time, so I don't really want to eat into them. But yes, we are going to... I'm looking at my armor because I have a lot of skill speed that I don't think I want. Give me a moment while I look up whether or not I want a lot of skill speed. Yeah, I don't want skill speed. Not as much as I have. I have a lot of skill speed. But my direct hit rate should be higher. The problem is all of these give skill speed, and a lot of it. Almost every single one. Literally 3 of them give skill speed over anything else. That's such a pain. I'm curious. This has critical hit and direct hit, so does the current one we're wearing. I need to look at the arms. Skill speed. Legs. Direct hit and rate and determination, that's technically better. And skill speed. So technically, these pants would be better for me because that's less skill speed. What about here? Oh, this is a skill speed ring? Are you kidding me? Let's look at the ring. The ring has skill speed. Lovely. Ah. Does the bracelet have skill speed? It does not. I should technically buy that. Should be one of these top ones. Where is it? What's it called? The carbodium. What does it look like? Where is it? It's in my inventory? No. Where is it? I just got the thing. Where'd it go? What? How is the highest oh, I'm looking at rings. That would be it. That would be it. Right? No, I'm looking at bracelets. Did I buy the wrong thing? No, corundum necklace. Necklace. I didn't need a necklace. Oh. I needed to look at the bracelet, which has skill speed. Dang it. My gosh. So are the pants actually better? This has determination and direct hit rate. This has critical hit and skill speed. More determination, more direct hit. That's good.
So I should probably get these then. I only have 4. I only have 5. Ooh, I might need to save those for my tank in the future. I mean, I guess I could do quick runs of it. But still. That's not great. It should be okay. It's just having fast skill speed does mean that a lot of my GCDs don't line up properly, which is the problem. That is the problem. Use Lance Charge and Battle Litany at the same time. And we would use Guy's Skogul and High Jump. And we would use Dragon Fire and Nastrond. Mirage Dive, Nastrond. Or actually, no, wait. Battle Litany, that. Chaos Thrust, those two. Wheeling Thrust would be Nastrond, Life Surge. Drake's Bane, Nastrond, High Jump. True Thrust, Nastrond, Dragonfire, Nastrond. Vorpal, Mirage Dive. I think there wouldn't be another Nastrond left, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Because you use Guy's Skogul here. You use Guy's Skogul here. You use a Nastrond here. You can use a Nastrond there. Oh no, there is another Nastrond between True and Vorpal. So if you're using a Nastrond after Chaos Thrust and doing Jump, for example, then on... Well, actually, no, you would want to do Dragonfire Nastrond in between... No. I'm sorry, I need to think. I'm thinking. My brain. It's expanding. It would be a Guy's Skogul jump into Wheeling Thrust. Then you could do Dragonfire Life Surge into Drake's Bane. Then you could do Guy's Skogul High Jump into True Thrust. Then you could do Guy's Skogul Mirage Dive into Vorpal Thrust. And that would be 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 Guy's 3 Nastrons, your Mirage Dive, your Dragonfire, Lance Charge, Battle Litany, your 1 Life Surge, and that's it. You would go into your full thrust combo and then keep doing that. The next thing that's gonna pop up will be Lance Charge again. You would do Lance Charge on 1 GCD. The next GCD, you would use Guy's Skogul High Jump. Then Nastron. Actually, this would be up. Would it? Or does this only align on the 2-minute burst now? It only aligns on the 2-minute burst. Use it on full thrust or Drake's Banes. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go... What is a place that has very minimal music? Does that even exist? I don't think that does exist. Then... Here's what we'll do. I'm gonna write down... what my game volume is. Alright. And then I'm going to lower my game volume for you guys. For me, it's going to be just about as loud. But that's fine. I'm going to go over to these... Oh, really? Come on. Oh, that's just wonderful, isn't it? Just going to go over here. I'll wait around here. Why not? And I'm going to try to set up YouTube on my OBS. So give me a moment. And the reason I want to do this is because... Why did I actually... I could just mute the game. What am I thinking? I can mute the game for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try to set up some YouTube so I can go ahead and show you guys and rewatch the raid that I'm going to be attempting. So just give me a moment while I do that. Okay. So you guys can't hear the game and should now be able to hear the YouTube video. This YouTube video is by, who is it by? MTQ Capture. It's a really old one about the Savage difficulty raid, and it's part 1 of Deltascape 4.0 Savage. So let's go ahead. All credit to where credits is due to MTQ Capture. If you want to see this guide, if you want to see more of their guides, all from 7+ years ago, go follow their channel. Go subscribe to them. All credit goes to them. I just want to do this because this is going to be showing us how and what to do.
Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for the Deltascape version 4.0 Savage Part 1. This section of the Deltascape is split up into 2 encounters, and this video will focus only on the first, where we face off against X-Death. My name is Ms. Tech and I'll be your raid guide. You'll notice that the platform has no barriers, and players will need to take care throughout the fight not to fall to their X-Death. On Savage difficulty, the attacks Thunder 3, Blizzard 3, Fire 3, and their channeled Void counterparts are all the same as normal difficulty. The main difference is that X-Death will pair dual cast with one of these attacks throughout the encounter, causing the attack to apply twice in a row. Players will need to react to each double mechanic appropriately. Dual cast Blizzard 3 places AoE circles under 5 random players that must be avoided. These can be baited and stacked together to minimize excessive movement. The second set will apply as the first set explodes, so be ready to dodge again as necessary. Dual cast Thunder 3 is a tank buster that will apply a lightning lightning resist down 2 debuff on the player hit. Should a tank get hit by more than one of these casts without an immunity, they will die. The off tank can provoke the boss during the cast so that the first Thunder 3 and debuff hits the main tank, and the second Thunder 3 and debuff hits the off tank. There are 3 total tank busters in this phase, and tanks can set up a provoke and immunity rotation as necessary. Dual cast Fire 3 will first target the 4 damage dealers for AoE blasts. Players can spread in anticipation of this attack to avoid overlapping damage. The next hit will target the healers and tanks. Be careful not to return to the group too early. If a player should die before this cast, Dual cast Fire 3 will target a person twice and will probably kill them. Due to the nature of this phase, deaths can quickly spiral out of control, and since the DPS requirement for this phase is pretty tight, practicing and handling each mechanic appropriately will go a long way. White Hole will petrify any player that isn't at full health. Healers will need to ensure that everyone is topped off before this cast goes off. If a player is below 50% health, they will die. The decisive battle will spawn a number of deathly vines in the center of the platform that will begin to cast Clear Out. These grow out of the ground either clockwise or counterclockwise from the first vine to appear. A player will then be marked for Holy with this stack-up marker, and an impact marker will appear in the very center between the vines. Shortly after, the boss will slam into the platform and knock everyone back a set distance. Players will need to stack together on the last vine to spawn and wait for the knockback. Since they are already stacked, they'll be able to easily share the holy damage during this knockback. As soon as this happens, the vines will begin their clear out slams in the order that they spawned, and Xdeath will attempt to zombify anyone in front of him. To avoid all of this, once holy damage goes off, players can begin to move around the platform in the safe areas left behind by the vines as they disappear. You are essentially following behind the wave of clearouts as you dodge Xdeath's breath. Next up, a tank, a healer, and a DPS player will be targeted for flare. To facilitate spreading appropriately, we have each affected player run to an assigned waypoint, while everyone else hangs around in between. Heal through this damage as necessary. When Xdeath returns, he will spawn on a random player, and players should pre-position themselves to ensure he appears on the edge of the platform. You want as much room to work with for the upcoming set of mechanics. Xdeath will immediately channel from the Void and cast either Fire 3, Thunder 3, or Blizzard 3. Again, the Void versions of these abilities are the same as normal and should be handled appropriately. Players should know that Pyretic from Fire 3 does a considerable more amount of damage on Savage, and players should be extra careful not to move or attack at all. Vacuum Wave will knock back all players a pretty far set distance from the boss. Be sure to stand in melee range with your back to the center of the platform to avoid getting knocked off. This is immediately followed by another White Hole. Players need to make sure everyone is topped off before the cast goes off. This can be a bit difficult since players are running back in after the knockback, so remember to stack together to facilitate healing. Black Hole will do raid-wide damage, afflict all players with an HP penalty debuff, and spawn a number of black holes around the platform. 4 of these black holes will tether to the tanks and healers and begin to move towards them. Getting hit by or running into any black holes will kill you. Affected players will need to kite their black holes around the platform, making sure to avoid the stationary black holes at the same time. All other players need to ensure they're not in the path of any of these moving black holes. To facilitate this, we assign tethered players to move in a specific direction from a specific starting point. This allows everyone to be sufficiently spread for the upcoming mechanics. During this time, the boss will also cast Dual Cast Fire 3, and then target a healer for the Holy Stack-Up marker. Fire 3 will first target the damage dealers, and then the healers and tanks. So players need to ensure they're spread as necessary before meeting in the middle to stack for holy damage after the second Fire 3 attack.
They kite the black holes to the edge because they need to stack up for holy, so if they don't do that, they die. Makes sense.
Will disappear around this time as well. Immediately after is another White Hole
Another
cast,
White
and healers
Hole.
will need to make sure everyone is at full HP coming out of that hole.
A rough encounter
Next,
for
another
healers.
dual cast Thunder 3. Tank swap or immunity through both casts. Meteor will do very high raid-wide damage. Cooldown shield and heal through this as necessary. Another decisive battle, and players will need to identify the first Deathly Vine to spawn and the order for clear out. They'll stack on the last vine, wait for the collision knockback, share holy, and then move in the direction of the wave of clear outs to avoid Xdeath's zombie breath. Separate your flare markers appropriately and heal
Again.
through that damage. Next up is another Void Channel Fire 3, Thunder 3, or Blizzard 3, and players will need to react accordingly. Immediately after, players will need to avoid getting knocked off the platform by Vacuum Wave by positioning on the boss appropriately.
Same thing.
Next up is another White Hole, and healers will
that's the
need to
same.
ensure everyone is topped off going into the cast. Another Black Hole spawn, and tethered players will need to kite their black
That's-
holes around the
okay,
platform.
that's the same
During this
exact
time, players will
rotation.
instead have to avoid
Oh,
dual
but now
cast
Blizzard.
Blizzard 3
Oh,
circles
whoa.
and spread their flare markers as far as possible while continuing to dodge the black holes.
Holy
Immediately
cow.
after, another White Hole cast will happen, and healers will again need to ensure everyone is healed to full. Next is
Okay.
another dual cast Thunder 3. Tank swap or immunity your way
Yikes.
through both hits. Lastly, there is one more meteor cast to heal through. If the boss is below 60% HP, congratulations, you've succeeded and gained access to the next part of the encounter. If he isn't, he'll wipe the group and you'll need to try again. Again, this part of the fight is all about execution. You'll have roughly 4 minutes and 45 seconds to get the boss below 60% HP. Handling each mechanic appropriately will allow you to maximize your raid damage as much as possible. It all comes down to practice. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we'll look at part 2 of the encounter where we face off against Neo X-Death. As always, thanks for watching. Till next.
Okay, so highlight notes, right? Dual cast system makes him cast 2 of either of these: Thunder 3, Fire 3, Blizzard 3, and the Void variations as well. Thunder 3 regularly is just a tank buster, but because of dual cast, it hits twice. Hence why you need either immunity or shirk provoke with her off tank. Fire 3 is the one that spawns on 4 people. I believe a tank, a healer, and 2 DPS. It'll just spawn underneath them, so they just need to separate out, make sure you're not standing near them. As for how you know who's who, you know what? I want to see if
Void
that's a thing.
counterparts are all the same as normal difficulty. The main
That is
difference is
normal.
that X-Death will pair. Players will need to roll under 5 random players. The second set will apply as the first set explodes, so be ready to dodge again as necessary. Dual cast Thunder 3 should a tank provoke the boss 3 and provoke an immunity for AoE blasts. Players can spread. Dual cast Fire 3 will first target the 4 damage dealers for AoE blasts.
Okay, so it's 4 DPS.
Players can spread in anticipation of this attack to avoid overlapping damage. The next hit will target the healers.
Oh, okay, I see. So the way Dual Cast Fire 3 works is first it's the DPSs, then it's the tanks. So DPS spread, they'll do the first flash of damage, then healers and tanks spread, and then the second flash of damage. So technically, if you're really good with your positioning, you can completely avoid getting hit by Fire 3s twice. Everybody's going to get hit by 1 Fire 3, but they can avoid getting hit twice, and that's going to be the goal. Okay, so that's the spark notes for that. Blizzard 3, super easy. It's literally just dodge the AoEs, stack them up if you can, and then spread out. Like, that's pretty simple. After that, you have White Hole. So go over White Hole. White Hole. White Hole is not good. If you are not at full HP, you will get petrified, and if you're below 50, you are instantly killed. Neither of these things are things you want to happen, which means it's going to be a battle for full HP. After that, Decisive Battle, which is the tentacles. Note the order of their spawn, if it's clockwise. If it's not, you will just note the order, find the first one, stand next to the last one that's going to spawn. You will be knocked back at the end of Decisive Battle cast, or at the end of this cast, right? Then you will have a stack marker, I believe it's called Holy. Yeah, Holy.
So you're currently behind the last tentacle. You note the which way they spawned. So the first one to spawn here is the one to the left of the tentacle they're standing behind, because they spawned in clockwise. So the knockback's going to go off.
Will appear in the very center
Holy is going to go off.
a set distance. Players will need to stack together on the last vine to
Right.
wholly
Holy's going to go
damage
off.
during this
here.
knockback.
And you already noticed the first tentacle that was to the left did their sweep attack. So now everybody
soon as this
runs
happens,
in that
by
direction.
anyone-
And it's going to start using the... What is that called? Flare. Flare is going to target a tank, a DPS, and a healer. Spread. Whoever it is spread. Everybody else, including those people, should be standing at the edge. Standing at the edge will yield the boss spawning near the edge, because he will spawn at a random player's position. From there, he starts doing some more void element stuff. Same as before, really. Same as normal. So Fire 3, just don't move. Keep moving. Blizzard 3. Get out for Thunder 3. None of that is different. Vacuum Wave is a pushback, so you want to be close. And then he will follow up Vacuum Wave with White Hole, so stick with the group as you run forward, so you can stay healed to max, so you don't get petrified or die, right? Then he follows it up with Black Hole. 4 people are going to get tethered, 4 people will not. The 4 people that are tethered want to bait the black holes out to the outer edges, avoiding each other, and prepare for a holy, which will happen in the middle, because whoever gets the holy needs to stand in the middle. So just kite the black holes, avoid the static ones. In the first time he does it, he's going to use holy and fire, it seems.
Avoid the stationary black holes at the same time. All other players
it
need to
uses
ensure they're
fire,
not in the
too.
path of any of these
Oof.
moving black holes. To facilitate this, we assign tethered players to
So he can continue casting things in the middle of it, which not good. Oh no, it's going to be fire. It's just going to be fire. Okay, so what's the spread with fire? All the DPSs will pop first, then the tanks and healers. So ideally, the DPSs are on either side of the boss, because who gets stacked with the black hole? Is it 2 DPS and a tank and a healer? I assume. That is an assumption. I don't know. But then the fires will go off. If it's 2 DPS, they'll want to be the ones that are on the far side of the arena, probably. So you want to hope that it's range DPS, because if not, then the melee DPS is doing nothing. Other than, you know, throwing their ranged attack, if they have one. If they're not monk. Then holy. So once you've kited them all out, you're going to need to stack in the middle for holy, which will immediately be followed up by white hole again, and then he's going to use dual cast Thunder 3 again, so tanks swapping. Then he's going to use Meteor, which is super raid damage, raid-wide damage. And then he's going to go back into Decisive Battle, which is going to be the same thing. Watch the Order, watch the Holy, Vine clear out, walk in the right direction, into Flare. That's all the same. Stand on the edge, he'll spawn on the edge. This time, though, he's going to do a random Void Element, Vacuum Wave, White Hole, this is the same, Black Hole, all the same. And then it's going to be Blizzard 3 and Flare instead of Fire and Holy. Okay. So the strategy of Blizzard 3, just keep moving, move out of your AoEs and stuff. Keep kiting the black holes if you have them. Stay out of the way of the black holes if you don't. Flare, stand on the opposite sides of the arenas. And then he's going to white hole again so stack up at some point. Then dual cast Thunder 3 again, and then Meteor. And if he's not below 60%, he will enrage and wipe the party. That is phase 1. Okay. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and watch part 2.
Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for the Deltascape version 4.0 Savage Part 2. In this video, we go over the second part of the encounter, where we face off against Neo Exdeath. My name is Miss Tech, and I'll be your raid guide. If you've managed to reach the second encounter successfully, any subsequent raid wipes will have you starting over at Neo Exdeath again. You'll only have to restart at Exdeath once your instant timer is depleted. We begin with Almagest. This will deal high initial magic damage and place a heavy-hitting magic damage over time debuff on all players that lasts for 15 seconds.
Wow. Okay, so Almagest is just raid-wide damage that's high, plus a 15-second dot. That's probably unassumable. High damage.
To facilitate healing,
Yikes.
you can reduce the initial hit of Almagest with shields and then actively mitigate the dot damage. Healers will need to heal through this damage as necessary. Almagest will occur throughout the entire encounter, so you'll need to plan your cooldowns appropriately for each one. Healers be sure to keep players topped off for the duration of the debuff. Arrow 3 is a heavy-hitting tank buster on the main tank.
Arrow 3 is a tank buster. Seems like he's not dual casting anymore, which is pretty nice.
Cooldown and heal through this as necessary. Delta Attack will cause dual cast.
Delta Attack. The first Delta Attack. Well, oh, it's going to be dual casting. Okay. Dual cast Blizzard 3, Thunder 3, and Fire 3. Lovely. Free position spread, tank swap immunity.
Cast Blizzard 3, Fire 3, and Thunder 3 to all go out together. Players will need to spread appropriately to avoid overlap.
All at the same time is what it did. Oh, I retract my comment of no longer doing dual cast. Instead, he's doing sextuple cast. Jeez.
Fire 3 damage and facilitate Blizzard 3 dodging. The first set of Blizzard 3 markers will appear. Then you'll get Fire 3 on damage dealers and Thunder 3 on the tanks.
Oh. Okay, no, never mind. It's just Blizzard 3 AoEs 1, Fire on the DPS, Thunder on one of the tanks. Then Blizzard 3 AoEs 2, Fire on the tanks and healers.
The
and
original
then
Blizzard 3
again.
AoEs will hit, the second set of Blizzard 3 markers appear, and the second blast of Fire 3 will occur on the healers and the tanks. Tanks can use immunities or tank swap during the Delta Attack cast to split the two Thunder 3 abilities between the two tanks. Grand Cross Alpha will deal raid-wide damage and apply 4
Grand Cross Alpha. Raid-wide damage, enmity reset, debuffs. This is where things get crazy, if I remember correctly.
debuffs on all players.
Oof.
The boss will then disappear and then reappear elsewhere on the platform. Each Grand Cross cast throughout the encounter is also an enmity reset, so beware. The Grand Cross Alpha debuffs are as follows. The first is Hysteria, which will cause all players to run in fear for 3 seconds. Stacking in the center of the room during this cast will ensure that no player gets feared off of the platform. This also allows healers an opportunity to heal up and shield right as the cast goes off. The second is Acceleration Bomb, which will knock up, deal damage, and afflict players with damage dealt down and healing received down debuffs if the player is using any action or moving at the end of its duration. The third is either Allegan Field or Off Balance. Allegan Field will always affect one tank, one healer, and one DPS.
A tank, a healer, DPS. So 3 people will get Allegan Field versus the other 5 will get Off Balance. Okay.
Every other player will be affected by Off Balance. Allegan Field will take any damage taken by the affected player and then amplified in a raid-wide Death Surge blast at the end of its duration.
Duplicates damage absorbed to player and hits others for 25% of damage absorbed.
duration. A player's Allegan field will duplicate the damage it's taken to them, and also deal 25% of that damage to others. Essentially, you want these 3 players taking as little damage as possible to reduce the amount of healing necessary once all 3 death surges go off. Actively shielding these players from as many mechanics as possible can also help reduce damage. Off balance will knock back affected players anytime they take any damage for the duration of the debuff. And lastly, the 4th debuff is either a white wound or a black wound. One of these 2 variations will affect all players. This is a lot of information to handle at once, so let's break this down slowly. The Grand Cross Alpha cast will go off, and all players are feared from the center. As soon as their hysteria ends, the boss will begin to cast the alpha version of Flood of Naught. This cast
Alpha version of Flood of Naught. They all have the same name, but there are 4 different versions, indicated by visual
will occur
indicator.
throughout the encounter with the same name but has different variations. We'll learn more about these soon. This Alpha Flood of Naught cast will deal unavoidable ray damage and knock back any players with the off-balance debuff. The amount of damage applied to each player by this attack is based on their order. In other words, the player closest to the boss will take the most damage, while the player furthest will take the least damage. To handle this and to ensure players aren't overcharging their Allegan fields, we have the group line up in a priority order. The tank without Allegan field will be first. Then we have the tank with Allegan field behind them. This tank needs to pop appropriate cooldowns here to further reduce their damage taken. Then we have the rest of the group behind them, with the last 2 players being the other 2 Allegan field players. This order of damage soakers ensures that the 2 of the 3 Allegan fields take almost negligible damage, and the resultant death surge explosions are easy to heal through. With the nature of the timing here, Acceleration Bomb will also detonate about 3 seconds after players get hit by Flood, and everyone needs to make sure to seize all actions, especially players with Allegan field, or you will probably wipe.
Oh gosh. Whoa.
Immediately after, the 3 Allegan fields will detonate, and the boss will cast a black or white Flood of Naught. As you can see, this version of Flood of Naught has a very obvious and different visual appearance. The cast itself has 2 sections to it. On one side, you'll notice this blue triangular prism, and any players standing on this side will be hit with black anti-light. On the other side is this purple orb, and players standing on this side will be hit by white anti-light. This is where each player's black or white wound comes into play. Each wound debuff.
So if you're vulnerable to black, stand in the white. If you are vulnerable to white, stand in the black. The blue one deals black, and the purple one... Excuse me. I'm sorry, I apologize. The blue one deals black anti-light damage. The purple one deals white anti-light damage. So if you have white wound, go stand at the blue one. If you have black wound, go stand at the purple one. Or the way I think of it, black wound, purple, white wound, blue. Black is closer to purple because darkness, white is closer to blue because light. Don't think about the wound or the vulnerability, that's just going to confuse you because they do the opposite of what they look like. The white one, or the blue, looks like it's going to do light damage, but it does black damage. The purple one, which looks like it's going to do black damage, does white damage. It's crazy. Oh, give me a second. I might need to take out my dog, because apparently fumigation is coming. Oh gosh.
Will make players vulnerable to that specific color of attack, and as such, players will need to stand on the side of the platform opposite to their wound debuff. If you stand on the wrong side or directly in the middle, you will die. Whatever anti-light you are hit by will also apply that same color wound debuff to you. Players will need to be aware of any changes in their debuffs and be ready to stand on the appropriate side the next time they're facing this type of Flood of Naught. If you die during this encounter, you'll lose your debuff. In this case, you can safely stand on either side of the cast fast to survive and eventually regain a debuff. Next up, double attack will target the main tank. This is a heavy-hitting shared tank buster with a knockback that will do damage based on proximity. The affected
wow.
tank will need to move towards the center of the room and stack with the off tank. Be careful not to go too far, as you don't want to be knocked off the platform. Both tanks will also need cooldowns to further reduce damage. This attack can also be survived solo with an immunity. However, the affected tank will need to be perfectly positioned in the middle of the boss's hitbox, and all melee players need to ensure they are sufficiently distanced from the main tank to avoid accidentally sharing the damage. If you use this strategy, be aware that an immunity does not prevent the knockback, and actions like Tempered Will have no effect. The solo tank will need to be extra careful with their positioning to ensure they're not getting knocked off the platform. Emptiness will spawn 3 AoE markers on the platform. These markers have arrows indicating in which direction the incoming AoE attacks will move across the platform. These deal damage, apply a damage down debuffs on any player's hit, and drain 25% of their maximum MP and TP.
Yikes.
Players will need to avoid these as necessary. There are a few
well, that's
possible
not bad.
patterns, but a general rule to follow is that there will always be a safe spot on the left or the right of the boss, or directly in the middle. Unfortunately, there is one pattern where none of the
Oh. It seems I was kicked out of the game. You guys can't hear it, but give me a moment. I was kicked out. We can't have that, can we? Ba, 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 ba. Okay. I think I'm gonna keep watching this YouTube video, but I'm going to have to end stream. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you had a good time. If you liked the stream, if you want to see more, if you want to see me raiding, then please do hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter so you can stay notified of when I go live. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I've been Source Supreme, this has been Final Fantasy XIV, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.